all that sand and water, we finally made it! Oh, this must be Fontaine's port. Wow! Everything looks so advanced in Fontaine. Paimon's heard that the industry here is extremely developed, and there are all kinds of unusual... Just seeing the sights as a tourist is nice, but maybe it would be better if we found something... What do you think? Good idea! Mahita gave us... Seeking out the Seven is probably still our best source for information at this... Yeah! The more we can learn, the... So, what do you think the Hydro Arc... To learn about a nation's god, start with the nation's people. There seems to be some locals talking over there. Let's go see if we can join the
party. If you ask me, it's a tragedy how things ended for him. Clearly, he was a pretty decent person.
Yeah, I didn't expect that kind of ending for him. I thought he would at least fight on a little longer for his family. I was expecting a sudden plot twist, but it's a pity that it never happened. Still, his story is quite the tearjerker.
Excuse me. Can I help you too?
Hi. We're travelers new to Fontaine, and we had some...
Play? Oh, no. We're talking about something that really happened. In fact, it's a case that was just heard a few days ago.
Really?
Hey, Boo-Boo.
Like, a real trial? But the way you were talking about it and the words you used just now made it sound like some kind of story.
Well, good tales are often based on true stories, aren't they? And what you see in reality may also be someone deliberately putting on an act while harboring ulterior motives. Whether something is true or not simply isn't that important. The main thing is whether the story being acted out on the stage is splendid enough. Oh, but it looks like you're not from around here. You probably don't know that the Fontaine Court of Justice is called the Opera Epiclese.
But, shouldn't court cases be treated a little more seriously than that? Not to question Fontaine's way of doing things. It's just that putting someone on trial is usually a very serious thing.
No worries. Other visitors to Fontaine have wondered the same thing. You could say that we just don't want to waste the moving stories behind those cases. And as for your worries about whether the cases are treated with due reverence, we have the absolutely just and honorable Chief Justice Neuvillette, as well as the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, a machine created by the Archon. Between the machine and the Chief Justice, false charges and injustice are a thing of the past.
You're a trees? Is it some kind of machine, too? Oh, Paimon's curious. Wait, Paimon almost forgot to ask you a question. Do you know what we should do if we want to meet the Hydro?
Oh, that's easy. Just go to the Opera House. Lady Farina practically lives there. You could definitely...
I think what they mean is that they wish to speak with the Archon. In that case, I'm afraid it's going to be a tad more difficult.
Huh. Is the Hydro Archon super busy taking care of official stuff?
No. Lady Farina seldom takes an interest with the nation's affairs. The reason it's difficult to make an appointment is simply because she's incredibly popular.
That's right. After all, she is the Archon. Though she may tend to get a little dramatic from time to time, people can't get enough of her.
Huh. First time Paimon's ever heard of an Archon being described as... Wait! Paimon gets it now! The Hydro Archon is kinda like a big celebrity here.
Yeah, I suppose you could say that. Perhaps you could even say
Hang on. This is still Fontaine's Archon you're talking about.
Yes, you're right. I guess I should at least try to be a little more respectful in front of visitors. Otherwise...
Come on. Sure, there's a lot of laws here, but nobody's going to be arrested for saying something disrespectful.
Alright, I think we get it. Thank you! At least we now know that we can find the Hydro Archon at the Opera House, but who knows how long making an appointment will take? Hey! What are you looking over there for? Huh. Maybe something's the matter.
Oh, it's Lynette. I have her.
Maybe we better go check on her.
fine.
Oh, okay then. We just noticed...
About many things, actually. But I was just reminiscing about a place my brother and I would play when we were kids.
You're pointing at the sea. Wait.
No people call the waters around Fontaine a sea. It's actually just... And no, I can still see that hill clearly in my memories. He would skip and jump, tossing sand in the wind. The sun shone brightly, and the air was filled with the scent of the sea. But now, the water is gradually swallowing our memories. It won't be long before it swallows us.
Ah, I don't believe we've had the pleasure of meeting. Are you Lynette's new friends?
Oh, and you...
Thanks for looking after my sister. She often comes here to reminisce about our childhood. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Linny, and this is my sister Lynette. If I had to guess, I'd say you must be travelers from abroad.
Nice to meet you! Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine. We were just talking with your sister.
I see. It's unusual for Lynette to be so willing to talk.
Oh, really? Then you two are just like us! Paimon's always the one talking for some reason. So that's how you think it is?
I also think my brother can be too talkative at times.
Seems you were right, Paimon. We are quite simple.
So, what did Lynette mean just now when she said that the water is engulfing your memory?
Oh, that. It's from a prophecy that's been circulating in Fontaine for some time. Well, I suppose prophecy isn't exactly the right word, because that implies a certain amount of uncertainty. Where to begin? Let's put that question on hold for a moment. We still haven't...
Did all the introductions earlier not...
Hello, Traveler. And hello, Paimon.
Hey! When did Paimon get a handshake?
Please, don't take offense. Just consider it a sort of etiquette we have here in Fontaine.
Oh! Alright then. Well, Paimon's just happy to have a local friend now. By the way, we were just getting ready to go to the Opera House to meet the Hydro Archon.
So you're going to see Lady Farina? No problem at all. In fact, I was planning to go to the Opera House later myself. Please, follow me. You said you were going to see Lady Farina? Well...
So, she's the Hydro Archon?
My dear people, rich and poor, those with cup in hand and those with nothing at all, raise your glasses in celebration! If you don't have one, then just raise your hand in lieu. As you can all see, two unfamiliar travelers have arrived in our nation. Come, let us make a toast in honor of this traveler and her companion, who have journeyed here from distant lands.
Is she talking about us?
I I've long heard of the turmoil and chaos you left in your wake as you visited other nations. But I welcome you nevertheless. No, I have come to receive you personally. Fear is for insignificant cowards. I am a god, and I will never entertain the notion of such meaningless wariness. You can be rest assured, I see clearly your sincerity. Of course, seeking an audience with me is the most sensible thing to do. It will allow you to truly behold my power and witness my authority. Until I, Focalor, hereby welcome you to the nation of Hydro and acknowledge the value and significance of your trip.
Yeah, Paimon still can't believe it. Feels like we've only been here for... But the Hydro Archon's entrance was... Miss Hydro...
I see. As Outlanders, you inevitably lack even some of the most basic understanding. Don't forget that even the gods can be divided into the mediocre and the excellent. I suppose it's only natural for you to be awestruck. You had best stop and consider. Do you really have the noble qualities and etiquette necessary to communicate with a god? All it takes is a flick of my finger for me to know
Whoa. Talk about sounding high and mighty.
Oh? What's with these looks? Perhaps the welcoming ceremony
Wow, I didn't expect to see Lady Farina here. Wait, does this mean they're the legendary blonde traveler?
Hey, what's all the commotion?
Oh, is that... Of course! That's the blonde traveler. The one all those stories are about. Lady Farina came here to
Ooh, I've got to see this.
Yes, but don't get too excited now. You may consider this my reward to all of you. I have determined that there will be an epic duel between myself and...
Now she wants to fight? Aren't we getting a little ahead of ourselves?
Are you not afraid? Might I remind...
What are you trying to do, Traveler? Provoking a god in front of her people?
Stand down, Clorend. I admire her bravery. Few have the courage to draw their sword against a god. Unfortunately, people nowadays only crave to be thrilled.
Oh, yeah, she's right. Just a duel wouldn't be all that interesting.
On Araneus, criminals are always requesting duels to defend their honor.
You see. Then, as the god...
Oh,
Right. This is Fontaine, after all.
Why do you care so much about the crowd's reactions? Seems you've spent the look. Besides, how exactly do you plan to have a duel in court? You mean you're going to put us on trial?
Oh, we have reason. According to Fontaine law, no one is permitted to release any flying objects within Fontaine city limits during the first 3...
Oh, so that's what they...
You call that obvious? What kind of law is that? Wait.
Precisely! Now, if you choose...
My apologies, Lady Farina. I don't mean to spoil the I don't think that Paimon here meets the definition of a flying object.
You tell her, Winnie! Finally someone who's not crazy.
Ah, great magician Linny. My boo.
As a magician who just rained on your parade, I naturally should shoulder the responsibility of saving the show. So, with such an audience gathered here, allow me to
Ta-da!
What's that on Paimon's back? Hey! When did you do that?
There. As you can all clearly see, Paimon should be classified as, well, something like a balloon. This rope has been in the Traveler's hand all along. It was...
Huh? You call that magic? You...
I thought it was pretty good. Nice.
Huh. I'm not sure what to think. It seems late.
Amusing. Very amusing, Linny.
Performance? You see all the...
In which case, consider the matter of your trial resolved. But when there are valid grounds, but even the gods of other lands. I look forward to seeing your upcoming performance at the Opera House, Mr. Linny and Miss Lynette.
Just like that! She's gone! Well, that's the most unpredictable Archon Paimon's ever seen. You never even had a chance to ask her anything. But that's a problem for future Paimon. That whole scene just now was ripped.
Don't mention it. I just happened to remember that there was such a law, so I did a little preparation, just in case. I didn't think it would actually come. So, now do you see what kind...
She can be a bit confusing at times, but she is still amenable to reason.
Anyway, Paimon had no idea you were a magician, Linny. It sounded like you'll be performing at the...
I just know a few simple tricks I use to make a living. Lynette is my assistant. It will actually be my first time performing on the most prestigious stage in Fontaine, the Opera House.
But isn't the Opera House where criminal trials are held?
When there are no public trials being held, the Opera House hosts a variety of other performances. And speaking of performances, I would be remiss to
My brother's always excited to make new friends.
Oh, sure. We don't really have anything to do now. And we wanted to go to the Opera House anyway.
Splendid. In that case, why don't we go together? I'll show you the way. I just have something... Oh, you really mean it? Then I'll take you up. This is a magical item known as a magic pocket. Perhaps you can help me distribute them to the people here.
Huh? What are they going to use it for?
About that... You asked me before about the prophecy, right? Let me start by telling you I'm not sure exactly when it began, but a prophecy has been circulating around Fontaine. It says that every person in Fontaine is born with sin. No matter how the nation of justice holds trial after trial, this sin cannot be absolved. Until one day, the water levels in Fontaine will rise, and the sinful people will slowly be drowned. In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
That sounds pretty gloomy. Why are people in Fontaine born with sin?
There are lots of guesses. Some say that the ancestors of Fontaine stole the power of the seas and stirred its wrath. Others say that the people of Fontaine never heeded the first Hydro Archon's warnings and offended Celestia. But here in Fontaine, evidence is what matters.
If even the people in Fontaine don't know what sin they committed, wouldn't it be better?
That's exactly what the people did at first. But in the last few years, the water levels in Fontaine have actually started rising.
Many places have already been completely submerged.
Many people carry on with their lives as before and shrug it off as a natural phenomenon. But my family and I think that the people of Fontaine shouldn't ignore the possibility. We hope that at least the people who reside near the waterfront can move away before it's too late. As a magical item, these magic pockets have astonishing capacity.
Oh, Paimon gets it! It's like preparing for a rainy day!
Perhaps only absolute power could ever contend with such a catastrophe. But now, if you'd like to help, then please give these magic pockets to anyone nearby.
So you're the blonde traveler that Oh, a magic pocket? Thanks. Please, also thank the...
What's this? So you all...
What? You mean
No, I believe in prophecy. The story says that people once lived in the open. As time wore on, people just... So, yeah.
Oh, we hadn't heard that one.
All right,
I don't want that thing. Life is all about living in the moment. What?
You should still...
Oh, all right, fine. Thanks. It's just that...
Oh? You already handed out all of the magic pockets? That was fast. So, yes, but that will change once disaster strikes. I know.
Is there anything else you need to...
Yes, one last thing. I have the magic pockets made by a workshop in the court of Fontaine.
So, you want to collect materials? Just tell us what the materials look like.
Oh, that would be much appreciated. We'll need some romaritime flowers.
It seems we have to use hydro to collect our maritime flowers. I'll take care of it. Let the show begin. Yeah, honey.
Okay, sweetie. That's fine.
You made quick work of that. I can tell you're an experienced traveler. Maybe next time you'll feel like help.
No way. I'm in power saving mode today. Otherwise, I fear I may...
Fine. Though the performance is still a long way off. Now that we're finished here...
So, we're going to the court of Fontaine before we head to the opera house? Good. Paimon wants a tour of...
That's fine, as long as I get to see you play.
Wait, shh. Have you noticed that person over there? The young girl.
Huh? What's wrong with her? Paimon didn't notice anything.
She's obviously... Magicians and thieves practice similar methods. We divert attention and a distracted audience watch her movements carefully.
Oh, he's right!
Shh, keep your voice down. We need to think of a way to catch her, but it seems she's very alert. You two can ride the lift over there and wait up top. I bet. All right.
This is the spot where Lenny wanted us to wait. Oh, look! Isn't that her? Oh no! Did she notice us? What should we do? Should we chase her? You're right. She might also... Nothing's happened for a while now. Paimon wonders if Lenny caught the thief. Yeah, look.
Are you sure that's all she took? You should check it.
No, that was all. Anyway,
Oh, were you returning what the thief had stolen?
That's right.
I saw the general direction she went, but Lenny twisted his ankle.
Oh,
I'll be all right. It's just a twisted ankle.
If you want to play at being a hero, at least try not to get hurt doing it.
You're right. I have to admit that the thief was even more skilled than I had anticipated. But at least we were able to get the stolen items.
what a slippery little thief.
All right.
So, we ride this thing to go into the city? What an ingenious way to get around.
This is an aqua bus. It allows people to travel between several key locations around Fontaine. It's pretty convenient, but the ride can become a little dull after a while. The scenery is always the same. That's why it's better to travel with friends.
So you mean it's still boring even when I'm riding with you?
No, that's not what I meant. It's just that, well, you don't really talk that much. Besides, it doesn't really feel like a real trip when it's just the two of us. It's the same as being at home.
Whatever.
Guess that's what it's like to be an older brother.
It's about time for us to leave. Let's get on board.
Oh, excuse me. Aren't you the great magician Lenny? And his assistant Lynette?
Hello. I don't believe...
I'm Charlotte, a reporter for the Steambird.
Nice to meet you. From the Steambird, huh? We've often relied on your paper to promote our performances.
It's an honor to meet you.
Wait, could that be the legendary traveler who's been making headline after headline in their journey across Tibet? Amazing! recognize every... I wouldn't be much of a reporter if I didn't know who's who, would I? Wow, today must be my day. Who knew I would end up on the same boat as so many VIPs? Could my vision finally be showing me some favor? So, Charlotte, what do you usually report on? Well, when there isn't any breaking news, I mainly cover the trials of the opera house. You can still manage to keep readers' attention as long as you tell things from a clever enough angle, even if it's the same. For example, reporting on how a scammer once deceived vulnerable girls into relationships, or how a financial criminal was once so poor that they ate a single piece of bread for 5 days. That's fine and all, but what I'm really after is exclusive, sensational news pieces that could shake the country. These smaller stories are a waste of my talents. Oh, I just remembered. I've been following a case lately. Well,
You mean the serial disappearances of young women case?
that's right. These stories are the talk of the town right now, and it's probably the most mysterious case we've ever seen. If I'm the first with a draft ready to publish when the case is finally cracked, and it's the headline story in the Steambird, oh, when that happens, I bet all the other reporters will shed tears of envy. I've already gathered all kinds of materials. So, what is the serial disappearances of young women case? You mean the culprit hasn't been found? That's right. The first missing girl case happened almost 20 years ago. And ever since, after a period of time, another girl disappears. What the cases have in common is that the girls are all of a similar age, and that they've all vanished without a trace. But the scariest part is that to this day, none of the girls have ever been found. Many suspects have been arrested over the years in connection with this case, but shortly after each arrest, another disappearance would always happen. Yes, it's possible. But either way, I believe that every case has some precise truth behind it, waiting to be
Yes, I agree. And at the very least, the family of those missing girls... I just imagined for a second what I would do if Lynette were to suddenly disappear. I'd pay any price to get her back, and then find a way to track down the culprit.
Please don't imagine that, Lenny.
Hey, we're almost there! Look! Well, I really enjoyed chatting with you. Life should be full of pleasant little surprises. Yeah, us as well. The ride went by too quickly. I have an interview to get to. I should get going before I'm late. Okay. Hyman hopes we can chat again soon, Charlotte. See ya! Bye now. Oh, be sure to stop by and see me at the Steambird when you have time. What a tough job. Always running around and interviewing everyone.
If you don't mind, how about we stop by my home first? Besides,
Sure, we wouldn't mind at all. This city is so huge, Paimon wouldn't know where to start anyway.
This is our current abode. Ah, Fremine, you're home. Where did everyone else go? I have some new friends that
Oh, they all just went out of...
I see. Everyone is getting busier now that Father will be returning soon. Allow me to introduce you to my little brother, Fremine. He is a phenomenal diver.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. I'm Timer, and this is the Traveler. Oh, you sound very proud to have a diver.
Linny, could you come here
What is it, Fremine? Do you have something to tell me? Okay, I see.
Is everything all right?
Oh, it's nothing. We were just discussing a little housework. Sorry for... Oh, before I forget, the Traveler and I collected more materials to make magic pockets.
Yes, I went diving and gathered lots of materials.
That's our Fremine, always quick with the underwater work.
Looks like rain.
Ooh, you're right. But wasn't it clear and sunny just...
I'm afraid that's just how it is here. It often rains on days where there are trials being held in the Opera House, but don't worry, it'll...
What's wrong, Fremine?
There's a legend about the rain that I tend to believe. It said that a dragon of water once resided in Fontaine. Though we don't know where the dragon went. Every time it weeps, the skies will cloud up and pour. When I was a child, my mother told me that if I wanted to go outside and play, I should yell toward the sky at the top of my lungs. Hydro Dragon! Hydro Dragon! Don't cry!
If it's an elemental dragon, then having the power to make it rain would be very unusual. Let Paimon try something. Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
Doesn't seem to be of any use. It is just a legend after all.
You know, you might be a more popular magician if you understood the concept of romanticism.
Sorry, it might be because we've never met the Hydro Dragon. Perhaps it can't be comforted. It rained for longer than I suspected.
Was there something you needed to do, Linny?
Yeah, some preparations for the show at the Opera House. I need to find a way to catch the last aquabus of the day. On the day of the performance, just ride the aquabus to the island of Berenice.
Killed how many dragons have I killed so far? 2, 3, 2, I think.
Oh, are you leaving now?
What is it, Fremine? I'm in a hurry. Oh, I get it. You feel nervous. Perhaps we could trouble the Traveler to help us take these materials to the Beaumont workshop. I'm afraid that Fremine can be quite introverted. And the boss there tends to be...
No trouble at all! Don't worry, we're on the case!
Sorry for the inconvenience. I'm quite useless when it comes to such tasks.
It's true.
I have a way to make it up to you.
Oh, no need! This will be a walk in the park for us! Hello? Is there anyone here?
Oh, hello there. New customers? Looking to buy, or do you need something made?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, we're just here to deliver some materials materials. Here they are. They're for making...
Ah, these must be for magic pockets. I could tell. No need. They've already prepaid several batches worth. When they told me what they'd be using them for, I even offered them a discount. But they insisted on paying the full amount, saying that I had a business to run. It seems both.
Whoa. So, is Linny actually...
I can't say for sure, but who knows? Maybe there's good.
You really don't like Paimon, do you?
Hey, is this machine what you use to make stuff here? It looks...
Why use your hands when a machine can do the work?
But where does a big machine...
Yeah,
well,
Paimon can be quite annoying.
It's a little complicated. But basically, everything we usually use here in the city is powered by indemnitium. It's a type of energy that's produced from trials.
Huh? How could trials produce that?
Well, I'm not completely sure of all the details. When a trial is in session, the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale harvests people's belief in justice and converts it into energy to be used all...
So that's what its other function is? Paimon heard that the Oratrice was created by the art, but... Paimon still doesn't get it. How could something... Oh, yeah! So that means the Hydro Archon relies on the machine to take the energy created by belief and turn...
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way before, it sounds like it makes sense. Besides indemnitium, we have another type of energy called Mumusia. It isn't produced by the power of the Archon, but it is unstable by nature. Even now, it's...
I thought I'd find you hard at work, but here you are chatting the day away. Since you're all...
You again? Didn't I already promise you that I'd have the more I owe to Confrérie of Cabriere by next month?
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end of this month? I want...
Huh?
Seems business isn't so great for the workshop.
Hey, hold on. Before you go around trying to collect payments, why don't you settle your own
Oh,
debts
this
first?
fucker again. Why is he
If
here?
wants to poach clients from Northland Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a hefty sum of mora. So why don't we work things out between us first, before you get back to your little...
You're from Northland Bank. But we said we'll pay everything we owe next month.
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontaine. What are the chances?
We're surprised to see you too. What are you doing here in Fontaine? You didn't want to stay in Snezhnaya?
Long story short, I've already been in Fontaine for some time now. And honestly, things have been pretty boring. But it seems that fate brought our paths together today. Not only will I have some good friends here now, but ones who always seem to find trouble. Either way you look at it, it seems things are going to get a lot more interesting now.
Pretty sure we'd want to avoid anything that you'd find interesting. Besides, our trip here has gone pretty well so far. Right, Trevor?
Hey, you, Northland...
Don't interrupt. It's not often I run into the Traveler like this. What?
You kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really... Listen to me, boy. If you want your mora...
Hey, I just said not to interrupt. Oh, by the way, Traveler, the last time I took Tonya...
Hey! That's way over the line! All right, boys, let's see who has to...
Can you at least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough with her, you're the ones who started it. This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my witnesses, okay?
I'm sure this...
You can run, but you can't hide. Shouldn't let your guard down.
What's your deal, Brad? How are you so strong if you're just a stabber from Snezhnaya's Northland Bank?
Oh, now you notice. It's a little late, don't you think? Huh?
Now's my chance!
Huh. That was weird. I'm not sure. It's as if I suddenly lost control of my hydro powers when I needed them.
Strange. How could that happen? First time behind my...
Never mind. It doesn't matter. If I want to stay sharp, I shouldn't be relying too much on my vision anyway. Besides...
So what are you doing in Fontaine, child? I don't see its work for Northland...
Well, I guess it's because I've been in a bad mood lately.
Huh? What kind of reason is that? Wait, since when do you feel down about anything?
I don't know. Maybe I still have a lot to learn about myself. But recently, there seems to be some sort of restless power stirring inside of me. And I don't...
Maybe you losing control of your vision just now is connected with that power you're feeling inside.
That is a possibility. I can't remember if I ever mentioned it before, but when I was 14, I fell into some unknown abyss. It was during that time I learned nearly all of my abilities. The one who took me under her wing and taught me was named Skirk. She was always quiet and very mysterious. Nobody knew where she came from or what she had been through, and she was always very strict when teaching me combat techniques. One time, I asked her why she was willing to take me on as an apprentice. From what I could make of her answer, it was because I had awakened it, and traces of it remained on me. She said that all my combat training would be useful in the future.
But what is it?
She never explained that, but my guess is that it's related to a dream I saw when I had just fallen into that abyss. In my dream, I was in the deepest depths of the sea, and the boundless seabed was all around me. But in front of me appeared a whale that was so massive, I felt like I couldn't breathe.
A whale? Oh, that sounds familiar! When we fought against you before, you summoned a huge whale that seemed to leap at us. Is that the one?
That's just an abstract form of a whale that I create using my elemental. It takes that shape because the scene I dreamt of the whale has always been stuck in my mind. I'll never forget it.
So you used the whale as inspiration for one of your moves? Huh. Seems a little... So why don't you just go ask your master? Maybe she knows the answer.
You make it sound so easy. Ever since the incident I experienced there, I've never stopped searching for Master Skirk and that unknown abyss. But it's been years now, and I've still found nothing. There isn't even a trace of the place where I remember falling into the abyss.
Oh, it sounds like some kind of ghost story.
Yeah, I'm out of leads at this point, but there's nothing more I can do. It seems that strange encounters in this world tend to be elusive like that. Oh, seems the time really flies when I'm talking with you.
What? More work for the Northland?
No, it's more of a personal appointment. Lately, I've been sparring with some of Fontaine's official champion duelists whenever...
Official champion duelists?
Yep. In Fontaine, before a criminal goes to court, they're given one chance to defend their honor by requesting a duel with an official champion duelist. The champion duelists are all powerful fighters selected from among the nation's best. And the duel itself is a no-holds-barred fight with no specified stopping point. So engaging in such a duel is regarded as a symbol of defending your honor. If a criminal manages to win the duel, they'll be acquitted. But if they lose, they'll have no choice but to stand trial. And the worst-case scenario is that you're simply killed in the duel. Though it's rumored that Fontaine has a death penalty, from what I can tell, no one has ever been officially sentenced to death. So really, the only people who opt to duel are those who have suffered a grave injustice in being accused, or those who greatly value their honor. Otherwise, why gamble with your life?
So, do many people actually get out of their trials by winning the duel?
Apparently, it's exceedingly rare for anyone to actually win. Fontaine probably enacted this system as a way to show that the nation respects the honor of its citizens. Besides, none of the champion duelists are to be trifled with, which is exactly why I was itching to face them as soon as I got to Fontaine. Apparently the one I'm meeting today, Clorend, is the strongest of the champion duelists. I had been asking her for some time before she finally agreed to face me today.
Well, that's child for ya. Paimon feels like we heard that name somewhere before. Florette.
Oh, before I forget, I want you to have this.
Huh? Your vision?
I'm just worried that it could become uncontrollable again. I'd be pretty upset if it got in the way of my duel. So, I think... Besides, I just need you to hold on to it for a short while. I'll come retrieve it when...
Paimon knows what you're up to. You just want an excuse to come talk to us again, don't you?
Whatever gave you that idea?
That sneaky guy. He said he's been feeling down lately, but he seemed the same as ever. Well, since we don't have much to do for now, we... Wow! Who could have seen that coming? The reporter who was barely around for most of this... sorry. Paimon was just surprised, that's all. Paimon never saw that. The whodunits here in Fontaine are a lot different than the light novels you see from Yai Publishing House. Both have their merits, but Paimon thinks this style of novels are more... well, novel. It's so exciting to reach the moment when the mystery is uncovered. Oh, sorry about that. Paimon, hey. Shouldn't we be heading to the Opera House to... Lenny said that the Opera House is on Aranea, so let's go ride the Opera bus!
Oh, Archon, please bless us with a bright and healthy child.
I don't know why you always feel the need to ask so much. I'll be happy as long as our child is healthy and lives a peaceful life.
I guess if they're our kid, then there's no doubt they'll turn out smart.
Maybe this is one of the customs in Fontaine!
Vache.
What's wrong?
Vache. Vache.
No, Paimon didn't say anything. Are you...
Welcome to the Fountain of Lucine. All the water flowing through Fontaine converges here. It's customary for newlyweds to come here and wish for children.
Lynette! You scared me?
Lenny asked me to wait here for you.
Right.
What do you mean? There are a lot of people here right now.
Hey! You're not trying to scare Paimon, are you?
I see. I might be able to tell you something. In fact, you might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you heard is a result of your hypersensitivity to the hydro element. Others in my family have had similar experiences.
It's because of her sensitivity to the hydro element? But what was...
When do you cry, Paimon?
Wait, what? What does that have to do with...
Just answer me.
When Paimon's really sad? Oh, and when Paimon's super happy. Oh, and also when Paimon's really, really scared.
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense emotions. Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where all the flowing water in Fontaine converges. Even the tears that fall to the ground will eventually gather here. So maybe what you heard was the intense emotion coming from someone's tears.
So, what did the voice say? If you were hearing their emotions, then Paimon wonders...
Rather than worrying about them, we should worry about my brother first. Don't let that calm look of his fool you. He tends to get pretty nervous just before a performance. So chatting with Linny might help him relax a little before...
Oh, right. That...
Traveler in Paimon. Good to see you. I knew you two would come.
Are you kidding? We wouldn't miss it for the world! We've been looking forward to...
I can tell, judging by how early, but you're actually right on time. The audience still hasn't started entering the venue yet, which means now is the perfect chance for us to take... The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved yours.
Ooh, front row seat.
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep thinking.
Hey, Lenny! Could you come over here and take a...
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there. That's Cal, my...
Yeah, we'll just go to our seats. You go...
You don't like him? He's the new 5-star character. You get Lynette for free though, for just logging in. I actually quite like Lynette. But Lynette is okay. You really don't like him though. Hey. There's always one that you don't like, so that's fair. Oh, tell her I said hello.
Hey, Traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation. You little...
Excuse me. I did not realize you felt awkward. I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is...
Oh! So you heard all of that, did ya? Boy, you sure have good ears. Paimon thought she was keeping her voice down. Wait, that's not it. Paimon's... Sorry. Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking under her breath like that. So, let's talk, but, Oh, Paimon's got it. You're also here early and sitting in the front. Are you a friend of Linny's too?
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linny would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
Oh, so you're not friends with Linny then? Ooh, this is getting more awkward by the second. Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived.
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across to the... And as required by proper etiquette, I will also...
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet. What an honor it is to have you here to see my show.
Ah, Mr. Linny. I should say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance in person.
Wait, Nervillet?
Hmm? I saw you all chatting just now, but it seems you still don't know whom... Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and honesty here in Fontaine.
Whoa! Sorry for being so rude just now.
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so I'm not so special. And by the way, I should probably let you know, There's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a... I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first impression. So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later. Otherwise...
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied look on her face. Guess she has no idea that you stopped.
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention. We may now enjoy...
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations, and the performance will start as soon as the audience has made their way to...
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Why can I hardly wait? I've never seen a real live magic... Ooh! They're dimming the lights! The show must be starting! Sorry.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Linny. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's...
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not true. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will... Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show real magic.
Without further ado, let the show begin.
I love Lynette though.
Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparations. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected way. I'm sure she'll be stealing this... Oh, and before I forget, you never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. Huh? But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes.
Yeah, right?
It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Huh?
Eh.
Whoa! What in the world just happened? How did he do that? Paimon didn't save you. Wasn't Lynette inside the water tank? How did she disappear and then reappear out of the...
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still... To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up.
That's right. Paimon couldn't believe her eyes when Lynette reappeared.
Thank you everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed that performance. But our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared even more astonishing surprises. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough. But Lynette is still my assistant in which case, I have ample time to make all necessary preparations. So, for my next trick, I will require the participants. Please, if my assistants could bring... There are 2 boxes, and only 2 boxes. One is here, and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already... Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic... Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box.
Wow! How's he gonna do this? Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks? Or does Lenny have
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number select. It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen. Now then, let's begin. Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now, please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the magic... I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as... You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may happen, if the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up.
Oh, okay.
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask, like this. 60, 59, 58. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when to... Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a...
Ooh! Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing you say that!
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still... Come on, repeat after me.
60! 59!
That's right, perfect! Keep it going! Alright, I'll see you all on the other...
54, 53, 52? Why aren't you counting them?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting. Merely a consequence of my...
Oh! Alright. You look so serious that Paimon...
40! 39! Mr. Linney, are you alright in there?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direct. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example, mid-air right above the audience.
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all. What was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway, it doesn't seem like...
25! 24! What's wrong, Mr. Linney? I can still hear you moving and...
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's...
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be
19!
It seems things aren't quite going as planned. It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know it can be 10 seconds and change is still plenty of time.
10!
Almost there now. Whew. Swapping 2 people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? Nope, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Is this part of the show? Mr. Lenny, you're going to use magic to fix this.
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was still in that box, right?
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all...
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause.
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom. Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to... As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl isn't... It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance, and there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
The serial disappearances case?
Yeah.
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before.
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Lenny, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh? Why me?
Oh, this all occurred during your magic show, now that I think about it. That whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation. A bald-faced chap.
That can't be right. He was in the box on the stage the entire time. Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances. He couldn't possibly mean catching himself.
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Lenny and his associates, and that you are pressing charge?
I just think that he... Well, I think it might be a little early to talk about
what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense.
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show.
I mean, of course, my dear people. That's what excites me, that's right. I mean you, traveler. You'll support Lenny, won't you? After all, he was... Then there's no problem at all. But with Lenny's help, our little duel ended in a draw. So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And...
It wasn't a draw.
I understand. Charges have now been Well, traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, are you willing to act as Mr. Lenny's attorney and defend... Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both Lenny and his troupe are all potential suspects, and shall remain within the opera. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big shot...
Yeah, exactly. This Archon is a bit stupid.
I'm really quite...
Sorry about everything that happened just...
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing an accident like that?
Honestly, I do just want to kill it at this point.
I'm a little shaken up myself. How could this happen? And poor Cal. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the murderer? Good to hear. Thank you so much for trust. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. And I don't know why poor Cal was in the box. As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself...
Which is precisely why we need to investigate! As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible. Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh? Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel fund.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
You have good taste, Lynette.
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now. But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially good thing you agreed to be our attorneys.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, just leave it to us. Oh, since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the...
Ah, well... I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade secrets as
The secrets behind our magic are past saving.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that will be weighted during the Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. We've poured countless hours and spared no effort in But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind what... We should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our...
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are... Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Huh? What do you...
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants, named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the... As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed. This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces of the girl. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing all these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Lynn...
But he doesn't have a motive!
Are you both good friends?
Well, you can't say we're good...
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even... I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience. I've seen a lot of cases. And I tend to be pretty straightforward. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come...
The investigation team has...
See? Told...
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation.
You're trying to help them?
Linny used the machine to pick a random member of... Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the...
That much checks out. Linny reserved our...
Let you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
this is the rope that broke. The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks? Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler? Whoa. Look! This bit is made from different material. Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left. Huh. So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of material... Wait! Why don't you write up... Hello there. What if...
Oh, the seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to... Sure, it's not like this is confident. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show. The magic troupe members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no... Simply put, she wasn't related to the magic troupe at all. Which meant...
Were the victims of previous cases?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, it really...
Okay then.
No need to be so formal. If you do have... It is of utmost importance.
Whoever the...
I see that you're investing. If you find any new and...
We don't have too many thoughts.
Then what?
The thought? Oh!
Yes, exactly. It wasn't
I'm not
terribly
sure,
loud,
but maybe.
I suspect that it's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Lenny's trick with bated breath. So no one paid... I'm of the opinion that it may... When the pyrotechnics...
Wait, wasn't the...
Perhaps the balance wasn't... Oh, that's true.
That does...
Lenny's still talking to the guards. I think someone will be assigned to...
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been keeping an eye on you.
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No?
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are under my purview.
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle?
Well, I am the second-generation president. Malus and the others are still used to my previous title.
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that.
No need. You don't have to call me boss. Just...
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rosula anyway.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the... That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest, judging from the look of things, I find Lenny an unlikely mastermind.
Really? We think so too! But How did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence. But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the Justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back down in that situation.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydroarch.
Well, what's your opinion? Alright, I've answered your question.
Wait a minute, did that answer...
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear any... In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial...
well?
And why would that be? See, Silver and Malus? I told you they'd be different.
Most astute of you, demoiselle. I too think that the Traveler's response was most excellent. No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on... And if that can be done, boss, then...
Alright, that's quite enough, Malus. Anyway, now, I need to...
Wait! Since when did we become assistants?
Oh, well, I can be the assistant. Sure. Or...
That's more like it.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that you wish to save a friend from false accusations.
You have a point. And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
I have nothing to add.
Oh, all right.
We'll be making some preparations first.
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit.
No, wait a minute. Were you always guarding the...
Yes, after the so the missing girl couldn't have left from here. I doubt there was...
How can you be so...
Well, because I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, but still, I could not abandon my... We Melusines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say... All right, thank you for your help. This'll be... We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are...
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift.
You may spare the pleasantries.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem... Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and we'll be helping investigate this, and these are my companions. Would you mind if they...
Fine.
Oh, new helpers?
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a...
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Alright. I saw that you came online, so I was just about to ask.
Yes, a world of secrets is... But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here?
That's fine. It just means that it probably won't be done until morning.
Help you understand.
Were there balloons and other decorations here?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still...
the back? You mean the inside of it?
Very good indeed. I thought you might not... The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get?
Yeah, it's true. Hopefully I can watch you play though in the morning.
Exactly. Alright, let's go.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
Okie dokie. Mwah.
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw them. The two magic boxes are positioned See this flatbed? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to...
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face...
I see. So that's the purpose.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be...
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here. With the audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already...
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near...
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to... My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked! What?
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being, but as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime. So Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now.
Thanks, everyone. We're...
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh?
Perhaps it was a prop for a different...
Whatever it is.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which... What?
Oh! Hi, my nose! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into it and here's a broken vase.
That can't be. Oh, these are the clothes of... Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Right. This is the... What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Could they...
Alone, perhaps.
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right! Let Pine Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes, let's head back up. Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus...
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the
They believe the odds of that. The guards have checked the area carefully.
So the tunnel's become like a secret chamber then.
No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation.
In other words, the charge...
Charges and then trial. So if the
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the That's right. This is the statements from both sides. The defense, to put it simply, it's as if the
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. Then, finally, the
Huh? So that machine...
In practice, there is yes, the guards also... Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies, that makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties. Or that we might find outside... And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa! There's no need for that! Paimon thinks they have a point. That said...
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options, I'm afraid.
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such... Just kidding! Just kidding! Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Huh?
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Wait, you're carrying a portable...
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it.
These three are quite the interesting group. And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven! Oh, it's even better now. Paimon can't stop dripping. From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process, but you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself! Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds.
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Paimon was just thinking. Aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty, beating egg whites and baking?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack. Anyway, give these a try. Fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's... No need for concern. I'm merely...
All right, then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel. resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims, whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowl.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowl before making her escape?
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the mad...
Were we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of things, this is turning into an Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great! They're nice and crisp and super...
They are my specialty after all. And I see you've already had...
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3, honest!
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good...
No! Being greedy is one thing. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have... Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? How could you? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach!
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. Malus, set up the stove again, if you would.
Huh?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly. We don't want to come...
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almond.
Wow, this really...
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As it would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
Alright, thanks for your help!
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
Alright, it's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the... plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did you...
To be honest,
No, we're already very...
Well now, don't you all look disappointed. That was to be expected, of course. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should...
Since both parties are present, Firstly, in order for the audience to understand...
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All...
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your... You ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady...
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Lenny is clearly... There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you...
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that...
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. What?
Huh?
Hey, hang on!
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that...
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the...
Look at those scales. Could those...
Well then, lady, of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundation... Tell me, aren't you and Lynette...
The House of the Heart?
No wonder they did something...
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui.
I've got a feeling that what happened on...
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night...
Hey, Lenny! What?
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, first, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Are these claims true? Please answer my...
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentence.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary?
The defendant deceives their own attorney.
Order! Order! Your request is reasonable, and we shall...
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I... In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the...
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would... I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We based our entire reasoning on the... Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but...
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonable. I know you've clashed with the Vatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details, and the truth is very important, but being completely transparent about Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, you met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal.
Sorry.
Well, you both say that, but... Right. Let's hear you.
Of course. I'll answer it. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, which should have been impossible, of course, I was quite certain that I was the only... That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreat. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground. But the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any... After that,
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all...
That's the only way we can...
So, there you have it. The whole... It was never my wish to proceed, but like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to...
Well, Trevor, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're... Huh? Oh!
Both parties have returned to their positions. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the...
That took long enough. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective. As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that the sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why, finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from... At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linney. So Linney proceeded to knock. Afterward, Linney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box. And there you have it. That's the
Does the defendant's side have any objection?
Key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. What Linny experienced and what he's... Seems this won't produce... See... According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that... Linny went to... Linny did not take part in...
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say. When the countdown started, Linny did indeed go into... But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground... Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty... The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again. And in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he... Paimon did it! Paimon actually managed to...
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing.
That's right!
That's an enemy.
My reasoning?
Careful.
Maybe it's not what you thought, please. Right?
Pardon?
Can you move your stuff away from the floor?
If that's the case,
Move it, please.
how entered the tunnel? Who was the entire setup meant to kill?
You're not looking at your door. That's my phone. That's my
Young girl
Well, I'm using it.
disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around. Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims? Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could we have not heard that sound? Why'd you... You're saying that he wasn't. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did you... The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. Halsey is the missing person and... The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant.
That can't be right. Are you serious?
The chemical! Is that so? How interesting!
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be... Linny was not in the tunnel at that... The sound we heard may have come... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The deceased's name is Cowell. The sound we heard may have come from a cloud. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. No one entered or left the opera house through its entrance. It would have been tough for both people. Linny was not in the tunnel at that. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. Linny was not in the tunnel at that. We heard may have come... It would have been tough for both people to... The deceased's name is Cowell. No one entered or left the opera. It would have been tough for both people. No one entered or left the opera. It would have been tough for both people to... Halsey's clothing was in the... No one entered or left...
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble?
I see how it is.
Look, since we're at a dead end, just like the trick as it transpired, the end...
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that one.
Excuse my interruption.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that. The sound we heard may have... The deceased's name is The vase was not broken by...
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being... Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a person could be...
Just a moment, please. How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some Must we really? Magic tricks are ultimately...
Even so, the truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps a new line of... Since Cal was the deceased, but given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings.
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their...
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at a... Guards, please step into the lounge.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... water from the primordial sea. The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that the notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving...
It's something so ridiculous, actually.
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he's alright. Tunny.
The deceased's name is Cowell.
What now? He's fine. Tunny. It's locked. Yes. Yes.
The rope that strung the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and cut. Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick. Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire... I remember there was something else with... Lynette was in the magic box on... Lynette was in the magic box on... I remember there was something else. Now it seems like the hook rope would... I remember there was something... Now it seems like the hook rope was... The rope that strung the water tank out. Now it seems like the hook rope was not... Lynette was in the magic box on stage. Now it seems like the hook rope was not... The water from the primordial sea should have... Now it seems like the hook rope was not... I remember there was something... The rope that strung the water tank. The rope that strung the... Lynette was in the magic... I remember there was something else. Lynette was in the magic box on... The water from the primordial sea. Lynette was in the magic box on stage. The rope that strung the water tank. Now it seems like the hook rope. The water from the primordial sea should... I remember there was something else.
Pieces of it.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. falsely accused an innocent person? What if...
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to... His notes mentioned he had an accomplice.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me. I shall now invite him on stage.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just in... and we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea.
What?
That can't be. Does this not, my dear citizens, Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowell then caused Halsey to... But upon his return, in cruel avarice, ultimately, he knocked Cowell out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a vicious... Am I right?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way... Is this the end?
Oh no! I can't think of it. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good of...
I think we've all seen enough now. And I believe this is indeed... Now then, my good... Excuse me,
Miss, I must ask you...
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to... I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your what is...
No offense, miss, but miracles...
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, is it? But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth? And wouldn't such a trick be... Come on, Linny and Lynette, give it another go. Don't, but as the magic makers and stars of the show...
I understand.
And voila!
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So, the whole thing of...
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowell. I admit it.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey! No wonder you look familiar! So you were the thief! Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled!
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
happy? Are you happy? Hey. Hey, Gramps. Oh, good play. It's one of those things. Dying for me.
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, you need to tell the entire story. The strange... The flower vase was not broken. Lillian...
And it's 8! Having been selected out of the group, her panic only intensified after hearing the commotion. Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to he did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who, mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lily. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle. With no way of escaping, she... She would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So...
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel...
Ah, so bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina. Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also...
What are you No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me...
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again... The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation, with some modifications to the selector to cover up any evidence while committing the deed. Cowell thought he also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank. Using the fireworks at the end of the performance, he poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a... Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the... As for Linny, he was in the... From this reconstruction of events... While there is much in Linny and Lily, this case at least can be handed over. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Great work, partner.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an How did you find the water from the primordial?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know.
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you. I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your...
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a...
I was just... We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the...
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become... Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know.
Yes! Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which, when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss...
And now he can no longer...
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Linny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe, but still. Let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after, I guess. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of...
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the street. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want... Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to...
So you went from orphans to the...
That was how we felt at first, too. As if fate was on our... But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift.
Oh no. But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal...
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care. And they have their way. I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person, and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the wall, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood.
So, she'd already taken care of that.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a... Father, the Knave, might have seen something in me, and so... The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray... I was hesitant to trust her. I had just been betrayed by... But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in...
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis' power when she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, She believes in...
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat... Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that
It's alright. I understand. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me.
Bye, Linny!
Hey there! What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us now?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides! And...
Ah, I see. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that now.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me. Wait, should we have a farewell meal? You know,
huh? Do we?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
You don't have to twist my...
Oh, wonderful. In that case...
Alright then, let's have a...
Ad Astra Abyss. Thank you for completing. Ad Astra.